Next piece is about Kevin Annett, and I'll go through the original piece I put in, and there's an update following it. And it stated Pope Francis is to be sued in a European court by victims of the June 21st assault in Geneva, which we covered in an earlier show. And it was done by prominent Ninth Circle cult members, and they are named in the same lawsuit. Now, the Vatican weighs deposing Francis before his controversial appearance in Dublin, and I don't expect he will last till then. We'll see. I think it's August the 25th. But comments from Brussels and Rome stated 4 common law peace officers were assaulted and beaten by Vatican security forces on June the 21st and are suing Pope Francis, Jorge Bergoglio, in a European court of law. 4 men had attempted to enforce a lawful arrest warrant on Pope Francis when they suffered an unprovoked attack by Vatican police, who were acting under the direct orders and command responsibility of Pope Francis. Now, the 4 plaintiffs filed a statement of claim today that names Pope Francis as well as 5 prominent Europeans as parties to an aggravated assault with murderous intent designed to obstruct justice and aid and abet a criminal conspiracy which involves child torture and also child sacrifice. And this group is known as the Ninth Circle. The plaintiff's claim was also filed with the Criminal Trial Division of the International Common Law Court of Justice in Brussels, which in February 2013 successfully convicted and deposed Pope Benedict, that's Ratzinger, rat by name, rat by nature, and 3 top Vatican officials for crimes against humanity. Pope Francis and the other defendants will be duly served a summons this week to appear in court and answer these charges, including their knowledge of and involvement in the Ninth Circle Coven and the disappearance of 8 children from Catholic Church facilities in Switzerland and Italy. Now, in Rome last week, a source in the Vatican stated that a special conclave of the Curia, the governing college of cardinals, has been convened to discuss whether to ask for the immediate resignation of Pope Francis. And according to the source, the cardinals are concerned about Pope Francis's up-and-coming visit to Ireland, where local common law sheriffs plan to detain him under the same standing arrest warrant that the assaulted peace officers in Geneva tried to enforce. There was a quote by the source: if they're going to get rid of Pope Francis, it will be before August 25th, when he's scheduled to lead a public mass in Dublin. And there's a feeling of dread among the cardinals that there's too much attention on Pope Francis and his associations, like there was on Pope Ratzinger. It seems that the cardinals are protecting their particular brand of cult and their money. What came in today is Pope Francis and 11 prominent officials are named and subpoenaed in a lawsuit exposing the Ninth Circle sacrificial cult, and assaulted sheriffs charge Pope with command responsibility for a monstrous criminal conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and also mass murder. Now, the Vatican College of Cardinals are deadlocked in choice of a probable replacement for Pope Francis, and the 4 who were assaulted by the Vatican officers acting under the orders of Pope Francis have filed a criminal lawsuit in European courts, as mentioned earlier, and named the 11 other officials as participants. Now, what the 12 people involved is Pope Francis, Elio Di Rupo, a former Prime Minister of Belgium, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, who's a Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Sean Brady, a former head of the Catholic Prelate of Ireland, Count George Jacobs, the Belgian Catholic businessman who's head of UCB Biopharmaceuticals, can't make this stuff up, and director of the Circle, Lorraine. I believe that's Le Circle. For those of you with long memories, I did a piece on the unknown group called Le Circle. Quite prominent and dangerous, that group. Or Club van Lotheringen, and he's from Brussels. Count Luc Jacques Bertrand, the Belgian Jesuit banker, and also a director of Circle Lorraine. Paul de Keersmaker, Belgian Catholic businessman, who's a former European Union parliamentarian. Kees van Korla, criminal underworld member of Ndrangheta, Ndrangheta, who's also a Belgian businessman and a member of the Circle Lorraine. Archbishop Diarmuid Martin, Catholic prelate of Dublin Diocese, and Bishop Charles Morrod, another one of the Catholic prelates of Geneva this time. Reverend Dr. Olav Feixi Tevet, I think that, or Tevet, General Secretary, World Council of Churches, and Bishop Mark MacDonald, nice easier name, who's a prelate Anglican Church in Canada and North American Executive Officer of the World Council of Churches. Now these 12 have been subpoenaed, and defendants have 30 days to respond to the summons and appear in person or through their lawyers in court examination for discovery proceedings. And in related news, a secret conclave of the Vatican Cura continues to debate who will replace Pope Francis as the Bishop of Rome. Now the conclave has been in session apparently since July the 5th and is deadlocked in their choice of a successor to the Pope. Now, according to the source, it is possible Joseph Ratzinger will be given the papal crown again. Possible. That's not going to go down well. It certainly won't go down well between the factions, and this is a faction war. Ratzinger is SS and Nazi, and Pope Francis is part of the Jesuit faction. Now, the Jesuits staged a coup in the Vatican around the time when Ratzinger was served that summons. It appears, if that's the case, and it's gone back to the Nazis again. But time will tell. But it's also just as likely an African cardinal will be chosen, probably Arinze of Nigeria or Napier of South Africa. But what is certain, the source says, is Pope Francis is finished. It's just a matter of time. And we will have further updates of the court case against Pope Francis and other named defendants in the near future. So that, thanks to Kevin Annett for that news. It seems like they're all going down.